So the truth is, over 95% of businesses are failing to generate a single penny back as ROI from AI implementations and projects. You say why? Because AI is broken. AI doesn't work. No, that's not the case. AI does work, but these businesses do not know how to make it work. It's not an AI problem, but a strategy problem, and people don't understand it. Founders are panicking, AI agencies are panicking, but it's nothing to panic about. There's a simple three-step framework to generate ROI from these AI systems, and today we'll be covering that. And let's see how we can break this down into a very lean and simple way to generate ROI from AI systems and implementations. So as I mentioned, 95% of AI projects and pilots are failing generating $0 in ROI, and that's a massive problem. Studies say that over $100 billion have been invested in AI projects and implementations and have gotten zero returns. And businesses are concerned. This is not me who's saying this, this is an MIT report. And businesses have been concerned, and agencies are worried as to, is this the end of AI, or is this the AI bubble that has popped, or is it just overhyped? The answer is clearly no, right? There is a very small and basic tweak in your AI strategy that needs to be done before you start AI implementation that fixes it all. And we'll be covering that right now. Before that, let's see what this entire chaos is about, right? Let's see what are the core problems that are giving rise to this massive stat gap that is there, right? So why businesses fail to drive ROI from AI? First part would be no clear outcome. There is no clear goal or metric defined as to what the businesses want to achieve. And AI without direction is clearly experiments. And these experiments are costing billions of dollars. Right? Teams are chasing AI implementations, adoption, AI poweredness as a goal, but that's very vague. That's not what you do. You're not here to become AI powered just for the sake of it. You need to come out as a business outcome and achieve some business outcome through AI. Only then it's valuable, right? So there has to be a defined business outcome here. There is no clarity on what metrics define success, right? You'll have to choose. Let's say, does your AI system save time? Does it make your operations more efficient? Does it give rise to your revenue, monthly sales, monthly profits? Does it decrease your churn? Does it increase your units sold? There has to be a metric that needs to be defined. It's called KPIs, key performance indicators. Your performance defines these indicators, and these indicators are the metrics that you choose, right? So first of all, there needs to be one metric that you choose that you need to solve for. And results become unmeasurable. Obviously, if you don't select an outcome, select a metric that you're chasing, your results are very vague. The results are not directional and are not implemented in a seamless way. Thus, there is no measurable outcome that you desire. When it goes to the boardrooms, your senior leadership or the founders and CEOs of these companies, what they think is, okay, it didn't work. I think there's a flaw with the AI. AI is just over promising things. It's not getting us the results. But you did not define that result. You did not define what you actually expected. And that's where the basic lack of clarity lies. That's the first major problem. Let's go to the second part, which is again a bit technical but very, very important, which is chaotic data. Basic thing is AI models and systems run and rely on data. If you put messy, inconsistent data and very messy and duplicate records into it, it's basically garbage in and garbage out. And I'm sure you don't want garbage to run on AI models, right? So AI models rely on quality data without structure and accuracy tanks. These things have to be clean. Your data sources, what data are you training your models on, and what kind of business metrics and knowledge bases do you feed your AI systems? It completely depends on how these systems will work, right? Every department uses its own spreadsheet. That's just too orthodox and traditional. Departments are using Excel sheets and messy data and collections and just feeding it as an attachment to ChatGPT and asking them, okay, tell me the insights. Tell me how do I do this? That's not how it works. You need to clean the data first, or you'll have to take tools or take softwares that have these capabilities of cleaning the data, or you get sourced data from your business and feed it in a very uniform way. Only then can you get accurate results. Third is fragmented tools. That's a massive issue. You as a founder or any business out there is using tens or 20, 30 fragmented AI SaaS tools, and they're buying subscription for these SaaS tools. But the fact is they do not talk to each other. One tool does some process, the other tool does some job, the third tool does something. But at the end of the day, the loop is not connected, right? Companies stack these disconnected tools and use it on a simultaneous basis and do not drive any result, because there needs to be a unified layer that automates this entire stack, right? These systems and these tools need to be connected, And as you know, with changing times, all these tools coming out there have APIs, have webhooks that allow them to connect with other tools, right? So you'll have to make use of that. These tools cannot be fragmented and disconnected, because that's where the things will leak, right? Your system will leak, there will be loopholes, and this system will be inefficient. For that, main thing you need to solve is have a unified layer as to how these things connect seamlessly. If you have an email tracker, you can define it in a way that, okay, once you hit an email, then it goes to a GPT LLM, it tells you what the entire summary is, then it automates to another SaaS tool, and then gets the job done at the end of the day and completes the loop. That's very important. Teams end up copying, exporting, and importing data manually. What's the point of having AI then, right? That's the third major problem. Fourth is, again, no feedback loops. That's very important. You must understand that AI relies on feedback. AI learns. You need to optimize it and iterate it continuously to make it the best version of itself, right? Companies, what they do is make dashboards, chatbots, fancy systems and N8N automations, and just leave it. They think that, oh, now we'll achieve our results maybe in 3 days, 4 days, a week, a month. That's not how it works. With due time, you need to fine tune it. With due time, it needs to learn your business, your patterns, your behaviors, and learn as to what's the exact fine tune configuration to get your job done. Prediction stays static, no performance tracking or retaining. There is no training done, right? There is no retraining done of these models, and models are just static. They do not understand your forecast, they do not understand your business behaviors, and hence they don't learn and grow. Human insights rarely feed back into the system. Humans just have feedback, but they do not feed that into the system. That's a major issue. And obviously, the ROI decays. Even if you get some returns for that static system in a few days, after a while, it starts to decay, it starts to decline, and you will think that, okay, it was just a one-time thing. It does not work out. But that's not true. You need to retrain it and complete the feedback loop completely. Now, let's see what's the solution to the entire chaos that we just discussed. Before that, the illusion of AI adoption is massive. The revolution is massive, all the businesses are craving it, but is it working? It's not. The stat says that 9 out of 10 pilots never scale. So out of 100 AI projects, only 45 make it to testing, and out of that, only 10 make it to production. That's a massive gap, that's a massive inefficiency, and there needs to be a solution to this chaos, right? What I say is there exists a 3-step framework to get AI ROI. Every dollar that you spend, you need to make it back and make profit on top of that. That's what business is. We are not here for charity, and we are not here for fancy names and labels of AI powered companies. This AI actually powers your businesses, right? So it depends on 3 core pillars that we are going to discuss here. First one being auditing AI readiness of your company. AI readiness means that how ready is your business to implement this AI or the entire system that you're working at. Not every business needs it. Even if the business needs it, it needs it at some core functionalities, and you need to map that out. Most of these companies jump into the entire end product of getting these systems made and built and implemented and expect some magic ROI to appear. That's not how it works. This is where the boring part lies. You need to survey and map entire business procedures, workflows, and consistently evaluate department by department what's needed, what's not needed, what is automatable and what's not automatable. Trust me, there are places which you do not need AI for. Right? Leave that alone. It is efficient. You need to fill in the gaps that is core to your problem statement, right? So audit workflows, you need to maintain data hygiene, as we discussed, clean data, process consistency, identify opportunities and gaps as to where things can be automated, where AI can come in and boost and amplify your work. You'll have to understand, AI is here to amplify your business. It is not magic. If your data and your process and your entire mapping is chaotic, it will just amplify that chaos. But if you feed it clean, organized way, and you'll have to map it with correct goals and correct KPIs, it will amplify that and get you the ROI. Trust me, that works, right? This is the first and very major part of implementing your AI projects. Second is, as we discussed, KPI driven systems. You need to set one system or metric that you need to achieve with this entire ROI system, right? You need to define the KPI. Start with one measurable outcome: time saved, cost saved, or let's say revenue, sales, profit margins, churn for businesses like e-commerce, and accuracy of models. These can be some of the metrics that you can target, and then reverse engineer that ROI to achieve that ROI. Right? Reverse engineer that entire system to start from the basic as to what direction that it propels you towards. right? So design the solutions directly tied to that specific KPI as we discussed, and test small. Companies launch beta tests completely end to end for their organizations. That's not how it works. Try department by department, problem statement by problem statement. That's how it builds up the stack. You cannot roll out the entire thing for the entire organization and expect some magic to happen, right? So build testable pilots before scaling across organization, and then validate ROI in some set deadline formats. Let's say you target it for a month, 2 months, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and measure impact of these systems against baseline metrics that you already achieve, right? We'll get back to that. Assuming that, let's say this is an example that goes from plan to profit. You identify your sales and understand that you need lead scoring automation, which is, as we discussed, qualification has to be happened with every leads that we come from. Let's say your business gets hundreds of leads from ad campaigns or outreach campaigns, but 90% of them are just tire kickers and inquiries. You waste your time on them. You do not want that to happen. It costs you time, costs you resources, and a lot of money you're spending on bad leads, right? So let's say you identify that problem and you need a lead scoring automation that qualifies all these leads for you and it books your appointment. You fill in that gap with, let's say, an AI voice agent that qualifies your leads based on questions and questionnaires. AI chat assistant that talks to your leads and confirms that is it a bad lead or is it a potential customer. And then you can understand the KPI impact. So let's say, for example, 18% high conversion after implementing these AI use cases, and an ROI of 4.2x, 5x, 3x. Another example is operations, workflow automation of your manual procedures that can reduce almost 50% of your entire manual time and boost your ROI obviously. And support, let's say your support and customer service relies heavily on manual data or paperwork or a lot of fragmented tools. You build it into one AI knowledge agent that completely understand your business outcomes, your business tonality, and your business databases, and increases your ticket resolution or support resolution requests from your customers. That of course increases your customer experience, reduces your churn, and makes your entire business more valuable and increases the ROI. This is very simple in terms of theory, but you can do it step by step if you stick to the plan. This is a real world example of how we work with clients, right? So that's the second part. And the third most important part is measure, integrate, and iterate. The feedback loop needs to be completed, right? You'll have to establish some baseline. So capture what your business currently performs, the metrics your business currently achieves, right? Based on that, now stack up what you are looking to achieve, what your goals are, what your metrics are. And before implementation, design those systems and select tools which best align with those goals and complement your goals, right? Deploy the system with a clear success criteria that, okay, if I do not achieve 10 hours saved by the end of this week, I'll redesign this entire thing. Let's say by the end of the day, I do not have 10 to 25 more sales call booked on top of our baseline metrics. I'll consider this as a failed test and we'll reiterate it again before putting it out organization wide. Worldwide can also happen someday. Yeah. So before integration and improving, what you have to do is embedding these systems have to be done step by step. Every department, every problem statement, as we discussed, we'll have to do it step by step before rolling it out completely. Once that is done, once your deadlines have achieved, now you see that, okay, let's say you achieve 90% of your goals, you're almost there. Now you reiterate and improve the system and make that system learn. You'll have to fine tune these systems and learn that how it can perform better and achieve your goal faster and more efficiently, right? And very importantly, measure ROI. At the end of that deadline, measure how much impact that AI system drives, and do not stop there. Do not waste that money into putting it again on the same system and relying or coming to a conclusion that it's not meant for me or AI doesn't work out. It's not that. You just need to reiterate and keep sticking to the plan, and it will work out very well if you complete all these steps completely. So from what we understood from this entire thing was this 3-step framework I've used with my clients, and we have generated thousands of dollars in new revenue as ROI for these clients. And businesses, large corporations are lacking this basic concept clarity and strategy clarity before they dive into the implementation. You need to do it step by step. First, the audit for your readiness. Second, setting up that KPIs to achieve those metrics. Third is implementing those systems, the tools, the tech stack and automations, and iterating it and learning, relearning and retraining these models to achieve better and better results throughout your life cycle, right? What we understood, we saw a very important diagram here which told you an example of the entire success metrics, And this entire thing says that okay, AI is not a hype, it's not a bubble. You can achieve measurable ROI, but you just need to have concept clarity before you dive into it, right? And this is how we do it with our clients. This is how we solve the entire ROI problem, and you do not need to panic on this. Just do not rely on hundreds of different tools promising you a lot of one-click solutions. Put your mind to it, put this entire system into it, and trust me, you'll gain results either for your end clients, either for your own businesses, and it will work out. Comment down if you have some similar issues or if you have some other frameworks that you're tackling ROI problems with. And I think if you want this entire thing, you can take it from the description. I'll put it out. And this is the entire basic infrastructure that we rely on as a business, and we use it for our end clients as well. Stay tuned. We'll be working on similar projects and similar case studies. I bring it on every week, and now I've set a goal that every week you'll get a very valuable and value-packed content piece every week. And these videos will cover everything from trends, what we work behind the scenes, our client case studies, and the frameworks that will solve a lot of your messy problems. So stay tuned, and let's see how these things turn out to be. Yeah.